Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Something a lot different on today's video. This is a Samick guitar and it was swirl dipped. Now I have owned this guitar and it spent years at my house, and I think I've had this for 8 years. And I paid a guy 80 bucks to swirl dip this thing. And you can see that the paint, it never really got a good clear coat on it. So I'm going to take this thing all apart and I'm going to try to install a better bridge, because there's an old Kaler that is just completely locked down into place. I'm going to take this bridge out here and try to install a Floyd Rose in it, and then we're going to try to clear coat it. Turbo Can clear coat, the Rust-Oleum clear gloss clear enamel. This thing should be fun. Let's take this whole thing apart and let's see if we can get a bunch of gloss clear coat on it from this giant Turbo Can. So this should be fun. Help me out. Here we go. Alright my friends, here we go. First things first, we're going to take these strings off. Yeah, again, I've had this guitar and it plays good. I like that it has the binding up and down the neck. It might be a bit challenging replacing this bridge, but I'm up for the challenge. So I'm going to see right now. Yeah, so this bridge was like one of those, I don't know, did they call them a string loader or whatever? But it's basically where the string comes through the back. But this is a Kaler bridge. And I'm going to throw it in with my parts and just sell it. I don't know, maybe if you guys are interested in this old bridge, then you could call me. And I could ship it out to you, or if you're local, you know, drop in the store. But this bridge is going to go bye-bye. Alright. So let me pull all the springs off the back here. Yeah, but there was a day where all these swirl dip things were kind of fun, and a lot of guys were doing them. 10 years ago, there were a lot of videos on how to do a swirl dip, and this one maybe isn't our best example of a really nice swirl, but you know, we're going to make it as nice as possible. The amount of dust on here, look at this. The amount of dust that's on this guitar, look at all that. So this has been sitting around for a long time. And here's a nice close-up of this Kaler that came out of there. But I'm going to try to throw in a maybe a kind of like a Floyd or something. We got to find something that I could put in here. Actually, it had the 6 screws. Yeah, this is going to need filled. It's been filled a couple of times. Wow. There we go. That lifted right out of there. That's good. Let me see if I can kind of do the same thing here. Boom. Okay. Get that thing out. Pull the pickup out. Do a little camera adjustment. Guys, I'm telling you, that's half the battle of making the YouTube videos too. You know, make sure that you got the camera looking at the right thing. Okay. Now let's flip it over and take this back plate off of here. And our back plate does not fit perfectly, but it's in there. This might have been a back plate that I made years and years ago. I'm telling you, I had this guitar since I think 2016. Long time. And I've got a couple of guitar hooks in my bedroom at home, and it's been hanging there. And I thought about taking it out to gigs and stuff, but I just haven't. It's just been sitting there. And people are like, oh, what are your favorite guitars? I get questions asked, what are your favorite guitars? And I don't really have a favorite guitar, but the ones that I have in my collection or at home are the ones that are so kind of weird and beat up and not good. I can't really resell them. So sometimes that's what ends up in my guitar collection is the old, weird, broken stuff that I can't really sell. I don't want to hang it on the wall in my retail store because it's going to kind of bring down the overall quality of everything when you see a real clunker like this hanging around. But I thought maybe there's been a lot of successful videos where these guys have used those turbo cans, and so I decided, you know what, I'm going to turbo can this thing. And just for fun, I've seen guys turbo can their cars, but I've never seen anybody turbo can their guitar. So this is it. This is the first attempt. And it's late May, and I'm in Arizona. It's going to be very hot. And it's going to leave it kind of tough to... I'm going to have to be out in the heat. That's what I'm trying to say. When I paint this thing, it's the old potentiometer that was in it. And here is the pickup that was in it. Look at that. It says Made in USA on the back. What is that? Is it an Ibanez? You guys might be able to see better if the camera focuses. Is that a DiMarzio? But that's the pickup that I had in there. The pickup ring is broken. We might put that back in, or we might find something else. Nice long screws that held the claw in there. Grab my drill. Set this baby down on its face. Pull the neck off of here. Look at that back plate, how it's kind of bent. It's not completely flat. Not sure if that's the story. What's going on there? Oh, look at that. I got a couple of Guitar Center picks that were used as a shim. But there's the neck. Samick neck, and I think overall the frets are in good shape. They're not big, tall, jumbo frets, but they're not little tiny things either. So I think that probably said made in Korea at one time. And I see that, oh, it's got a little crack across there. Or maybe it just looks like a scratch. Maybe a small crack right there. But I'm still using it. Still going to use this neck. Because it always played pretty good. Okay, let's take these strap buttons off. And there we have it. All right. So we have a body. So now what do we do to prep this body? All right. So I can see. Let me bring the camera over here. Okay, this is what you can see where we put a wooden block in there to block off the other pickup. And you can see it's got some white all the way around. I want to try to disguise that a little bit. And then we're going to plug these. So let me see what I have. And let me see what I have. We can do that. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this. Woo, here we go. Then I'm going to let that dry. Alright, so I've got these glued down in there, and I have cut them off nice and flat. So, you know, it's not going to be perfect, this guitar, as you guys probably already can tell. But I need to let those posts that I filled up dry up a long time. But I also want to see if I can disguise some of the crazy parts on here. And maybe I can just fill them in with, I got a little paint marker. Let me see what I got. It might be white. Black wouldn't be bad because there's already some black in it, not much, but I can try. I'm going to try to disguise some of that. Okay, so I've got this paint marker that I got over at a automotive paint supply, and I got a black one. So I'm going to try to just tap a bunch of white paint on some of these areas. And you know, there's already white on there. I don't know if this is my best plan, but let's see what happens here. It's not looking so good. Yeah, that's maybe worse than it was. Let's smear it. Take a paper towel. I don't know. Not good. kind of worse than it was. But unfortunately, it's going to be a what it is kind of a guitar. Yeah, not sure what I can do to make that any nicer. That's unfortunate, but I hate to say it is what it is, but that's basically what I think I can do. I'm going to drill this and put a bridge in here. So let me see what I got. Here's an Ibanez bridge. So it's going to be a top loader, but you know, something like that. So it'd probably look better if that was black instead of white right here. Of course, this is all wet, so it's going to be gray. I don't know if that's the bridge I'm going to use. I think somewhere I have a Floyd Rose 1000. Or no, it's a Floyd Rose Special. Is it in here? This maybe is an empty box. Yep, somewhere I got a Floyd. Okay, here we go. You gotta shake it up good. So yeah, Rust-Oleum Turbo Can. I hope this works. We got a little makeshift shelf out here where we took the shelf off. And I'm using the neck plate here. The piece of wire. Look at that, the wind is blowing a little bit, so it's already spinning around for us. So by no means am I a professional painter. I do not paint guitars. Fun little experiment though. Let's see what happens here. So this thing has a giant spray fan. And it's really gonna come blasting out of here. So here we go. Wow. That's a lot. There you go. Spin around for me. That a girl. Holy crap! That's a lot, and it barely has used any of that, but I think we're off to a good start. Should I let it set for a while?
I'd say let it dry for a while and then hit it again. And do that maybe 2 or 3 times.
Okay, we're gonna let it set for... You want to read these directions? No, we're going to let it set for 10-20 minutes, and we're going to come back and keep throwing this on. Maybe I'll throw the whole can on, so we have a super thick, glossy layer. All right, so it's been 10 minutes now, and it's looking good so far, but I'm going to throw more on it just to see what happens here. Don't know if it's really getting any runs in it or not. But it sure is putting a lot of product is actually going on the guitar body. A lot of this stuff. This stuff really sprays a lot when it does come out of here. It is a lot. I've watched videos where guys, do their entire car with this turbo paint. Okay. Alright, I'm tempted to be finished. Ooh, that wasn't good. It's probably going to have a run down there. But for some reason I just can't stop myself. Alright, that's it. Done. Alright. So, gonna let that dry overnight. And I'll carry this into the store. We're out behind the store right now. And I will carry this thing in here in a little while. And we'll take a good look at it tomorrow. Although tomorrow is Sunday. Memorial Day weekend. We'll take a look at this on Monday or on Tuesday of next week. Okay guys, so you know I've got t-shirts for sale. There's a link in the description below where you can go on Teespring and get a new t-shirt. But look at this, I got a new t-shirt design. So it's got the little brand new ZIMM'S Guitars logo, Go Buy a Guitar, on the front. But wait until you see the back. Look at this. Go Buy a Guitar, established in 2016. Brand new shirts. Get yourself a brand new ZIMM'S Guitars t-shirt. It really helps the channel. Thank you guys so much. Okay, let's get back to this guitar. Okay, so here it is. Next day. I came in on a Sunday. I was bored at my house. So I came in and I'm putting the neck back on this thing. And let me put this neck on here and I will show you how this thing turned out. It definitely is nice and glossy. There is a couple of runs in it, but it's not really bothering me. And I think overall, I think it did a really good job of putting a nice glossy clear coat on this. Now I'm not going to do the whole thing where I wet sand it and try to buff it. I don't have a buffer. I know Stu Max sells them though. They got really good ones and they are amazing when you spend the money and get your hands on one of those Stu Max buffers. But there we go. Let's tighten this up a little bit more. Alright, so yeah, here it is. And you know, you can see where I touched it up. And luckily, our bridge is going to cover a lot of that. There's nothing that I could really do here. I could have, well there is, but I'm not going to do all that. This is one of those, it is what it is kind of guitars. And I did notice that the way I had it hanging, I wasn't able to get underneath here really well. And I can feel a couple of runs down here at the bottom. But it definitely put a thick coat of gloss over it. So now I'm going to put it all back together and change that Floyd Rose that was in it. Now, one of my viewers sent me this, and it's an older Floyd Rose special, and I think that's going to look really good in here. Covers a lot of this weirdness. Let's see what other parts are in here. The arm is in here, and we got some springs, and we got the claw, and we've got the little studs. And so I'm going to use these. And it's got a hold down string bar. So yeah. Now I'm going to mount these in here. I'm going to drill this back out. And I'm going to line this all up. And I'm going to do my very best to get this Floyd down in there nicely. I have to do some measurements. Luckily, the way that it's routed, I can kind of see already exactly where she should set. So sometimes you can put your E-strings in, and then you can move it back and forth, and then that will help you. Got to drill small holes first, and then I also have to measure the thickness of this stud that goes down in there and put exactly the right size hole in here. So let me work on mounting this for a while. Okay, so I drilled. I did my best measurements that I could do, and I've got that there, and it seems to me like it's going to work good. And if I look down the neck, it looks like it's at the right height. So I think we're good to go. Let me throw. We've got room for adjusting. These went down in there really nice. And we'll go ahead and throw the claw back on. And I'll put a couple of springs across there. One thing, when this guitar was first water dipped, again it was like 8 years ago, he kind of filled in the little holes where the back plate used to go, so there's not ever going to be a back plate on here. I don't know if I've got those way too tight. Back them out a way so I can get a couple of springs on here. So try to hold that in place. There we go. Good. It's all good. Okay. I'm going to have to resolder the ground on there, but that should be no problem. So, okay, we got a bridge. Let's throw a pickup in it. Let's put the electronics back in. I suppose I could just reuse this because it did work. So let's see. I don't know. And I could probably throw this back in it, but I do have to look for a different cover because I don't want to put the broken one back on. So let's do some electronics. Okay, so pickup rings. This is the broken one that came off. I found this one. It's a little bit taller, is it? It's very similar to the same size, but the holes don't match up quite right. I would have to re-drill. I found this one that's even taller, and these are all used parts, guys. I don't put money into this. This one looks good. So I'm going to use this one, and this will actually bring the pickup up a little bit higher if I need to do that. So I'm going to use this one right here. And like I was saying, I don't usually have to buy any parts when I work on these projects because you guys are always sending me free parts. I go out to my mailbox every couple of months, and there's this box of random parts that you guys have donated, and it really makes doing little projects like this a lot easier. You just dig through your parts and see what you got laying around. Okay, this should work. My drill bit doesn't want to go in there, but this screwdriver will do it. Yeah, so like I was saying, I really appreciate you guys donating all those old parts, even if it's the old Squire parts. I love all that stuff. Thank you guys so much for all that. Now my screws that were holding this down are going to be too short, so I'm going to need to dig through all my pickup ring screws and see what I can use for that. And I want them to be black, but they don't necessarily need to be. If I find some chrome ones or whatever, I think that's going to be fine. So there we go. These are chrome. Changing some of these chrome screws to black. And also the strap buttons. Taking the chrome ones off. Throwing on black stuff. Nice. And these will go back into my parts. Okay, so this was the knob that was on here. And so I've got a giant box full of them here. And let's just take a look. That's kind of cool. Or I could put a speed knob on. Got a whole box of stuff. Wow. That thing's giant. I just kind of want just a basic black one. There we go. Throw these back in there. Yeah, this thing, there's a lot of knobs in there. Okay, so I got the electronics back in it and they are wired up, and I tapped on the pickup and it is working. So I went ahead and I put my trem block underneath here. And I noticed that this bridge is missing 2 of its blocks. But I also noticed going through my parts that I had this little set of these. And I think these are maybe titanium or something. And so I'm going to see. Let me move this. It's probably still hot. I'm going to see if these fit in this bridge. It'll be a really nice little cool upgrade if they do. So let's see what happens here. I don't know if they're just going to be direct replacements, but we're going to give it a try and see what happens. I think all 6 of them are the same size. There isn't one that's longer. Okay. Okay, now I got to take that little brick out of there, or block. I think these just might work. Let me figure out what I can use. to get the block out of here. I wonder if a magnet would lift that. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to set one of these little blocks down here with the little side that's got the indentation. I'm putting that towards the back and down. Wow, I think this is working. It's looking good. So let me continue on, and I'm going to put all 6 of these in here. And then I'll be right back. Okay, so this kit also had the little bolts that fit down in here. So I'm going to go ahead and replace all 6 of these too. I'm going to leave the saddles right where they're at because I think it's close to being intonated properly. So we're just going to leave that right there. And again, I have to keep repeating myself, but you guys are awesome because you donate stuff like this to me. If you get parts and you no longer need them, there they go. They just fit in here really nice. So let me put all 6 of these in here. And then I think we're going to be ready to throw some strings on this thing. We'll actually see if I can get this guitar locked down where I can do some whammy bar tricks and it stays in tune. That would be fabulous. Alright guys, this old parts guitar Samick is getting a brand new fresh set of D'Addario NYXL 10 through 52 electric. Play furiously and go ahead and paint and mod your guitar furiously. It's all good. It's lots of fun. You know, there's those guys that they play guitar, and then there's those guys that play with their guitar, and both of them are okay. You're allowed to do what? You're allowed to do both. Some guitar players, they collect guitars. They have fun modifying their guitars. Some guitar players, professional guitar players, they play their guitar, and that's all they do. And some guys, they play with their guitars. So let's see what we got going on here. This is a 52. Yeah, and they have lots of fun just playing around, changing pickups out. You know what? There's a lot of hobbies that are a lot worse of an idea than just buying guitars and changing and modifying and collecting and shining and painting and doing all this fun stuff. There's a lot worse things you could be doing. Okay, look at that. That's nice. Alright. Alright, so before this video gets too long, let me go ahead and I'll throw all 6 strings on this thing. And we'll try to get it tuned up. Oh, this is going to be cool. So, let me get all 6 strings on here. Okay, I've been tuning it up for a few minutes, and I'm going to tune this thing a half step down. So, E flat. And I think we are very close, and I've stretched the strings a little bit. Now I'm going to go back up into this box, and I'm going to take out the string locks. And let's set these on here. And I'm not going to lock them down just yet. But I'm definitely going to put them on. Again, now this guitar sat in my room. I have 3 guitar hooks on the wall that in my bedroom at home. And this thing sat there for, I'm going to guess 5, 6 years, maybe 7 years, a long time. I had my first shop when I first had this thing dipped.